What's up, everybody? Thank you for jumping on to Steelers To Go, your daily to-go cup of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. I'm Noah Strackbine here every single Monday through Friday. Find us on youtube.com/allsteelerstalk or anywhere you get your podcasts. And there's two new developments regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback competition. And I know at some point we got to stop talking about it because there's nothing happening. They're not on the field. We're waiting till training camp. And truthfully, we're probably waiting until the preseason to see how real this quarterback competition is. But two new interesting things have happened within the last couple of days. For one, Max Starks has said that Kenny Pickett is a luxury pick, something that is only here for the future. And I think you could take that two ways. First, if he's a luxury pick, it makes sense. The Steelers don't need a starting quarterback in Kenny Pickett this season. They trust Mitchell Trubisky. They've made that pretty clear. And the fact that Mitchell Trubisky is the only one taking 1 reps during minicamp and OTAs kind of says he's their guy, at least until proven otherwise. And yeah, many people want to see a true quarterback competition. Many people want to see Kenny Pickett just as involved as Trubisky, and some people want to see Mason Rudolph just as involved as the rest of them. We don't know if that's going to ever happen. Right now, it's a Mitchell Trubisky battle. He's got a pretty significant lead. There's a detailed plan. We keep hearing about the detailed plan that has been laid out to everybody. And at some point, I think we'll see it. I just don't think that is going to be as immediate as we think, or as drastic of a change as we believe. I don't truthfully believe that this detailed plan involves Mitchell Trubisky not taking 1 reps. I think it involves Kenny Pickett starting a game during the preseason. I think it involves Mason Rudolph starting a game during the preseason. I just don't think at any point it involves Mitch stepping back from the starting role so that they could see if the other 2 quarterbacks fit best in that starting spot. But that's okay. If Mitchell's their guy, if Trubisky's their guy, the Steelers have a guy who's led a team to the playoffs before, who has upside, who has veteran experience, who has pretty much the same skill set that they're looking for, and pretty much the same skill set as Kenny Pickett. It all seems okay. Kenny Pickett being a luxury pick means that the future is still Kenny Pickett's. And I think that's also okay. I think if you're looking at this and you're upset that Mitchell Trubisky is going to be the starter in 2022, and you're only upset about that because you want Kenny Pickett to be the starter, or you believe that this is the beginning of the end to Kenny, or the Steelers made a bad decision with their first-round pick, trust that the Steelers have a plan for Kenny Pickett. And that plan is in the future, yes, but that plan is still there. He's still the next quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's still the next, hopefully, franchise guy for the Steelers. They believe that. Even if Mitchell Trubisky is the starter in 2022 and even the starter in 2023, the Steelers believe that Kenny Pickett is the next franchise quarterback of this team. They never didn't believe that, which is good. That's where the luxury comes in. It's where the word luxury comes in. Kenny could still be the guy moving forward, even if he's not the guy right now. It's not a wasted draft pick. If Mitchell Trubisky turns into a superstar and the next Josh Allen, and there's no reason to talk about anybody else for the next 5 to 10 years, the Steelers still didn't make a bad decision. Their plan was still to make Kenny Pickett their future. Things just changed. The NFL is about who's best. It's not about having problems because you have too many quarterbacks. It's about having problems because you don't have any good quarterbacks. If the Steelers have 2 really quality ones, they're okay with that. We should all be okay with that. And 2, the second development. Mason Rudolph is apparently on the open market. And all the Steelers are looking for is a 5th-round pick, apparently. Ray Fittipaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette has said that he's waiting, that the Steelers are waiting for a call for a 5th-round pick for Mason Rudolph. And look, I'm not going to say that Ray's wrong or that his information is false. Ray might have heard some things that I have not heard. But just to break that down, The Steelers need 4 quarterbacks at training camp. They're not looking for 3. They're looking for 4. That's how they operate this team. That's how they've always operated this team. They don't have 4 in mini camp and then move into training camp and go, all right, well, we've seen what we could see. Now we're going to cut it down to 3. They keep 4 all throughout training camp. They always have. They want 4 guys. So Mason being moved before the regular season, iffy. Very iffy. A 5th-round pick might be a lot. And I've been pretty optimistic that the Steelers could get something for Mason Rudolph. A 5th-round pick might be a lot. It could be dead on. There's the Josh Dobbs argument. The Steelers got a 5th-round pick for Josh Dobbs. If they could get a 5th-round pick for Josh Dobbs, who's saying they can't get a 5th-round pick for Mason Rudolph? Not me. Not me. I believe that if they could get it for Josh Dobbs, they could get it for Mason Rudolph, especially because we don't know what the future holds. We don't know what the next 2 months of football is going to contain or the injuries that are going to happen at what positions for what teams. Every year, it seems like we're shocked by the number of injuries that are happening in the summer and in preseason. There's going to be a team out there looking for something. And if that something is a quarterback or a backup quarterback or a quarterback that they want to come in and compete for the starting job because their starter went down, Mason's that guy. And I think a 5th-round pick could easily be on the market for him. So I believe that. It's all about when. Because it's not going to happen now. The Steelers are going to push their way through. They're going to let Mason compete as much as they believe Mason should be able to compete. They're going to let him start a preseason game. They're going to showcase his talents to the NFL. If he plays well, but not well enough to be a starter, teams are going to call, and they're going to negotiate. But it's not going to happen until that mark. Until we hit a point where Mason is a hot topic of conversation. Until teams are needy. Right now, nobody needs anybody. The Steelers have an open roster spot. You want to know why that open roster spot hasn't been filled? Because they don't need anybody. It's June. Football is not happening. I woke up this morning at 9 a.m. If this was football season, if there was things happening, my alarm goes off at 5 a.m. You want to know why? Because things are worth talking about. Things are happening. There's no football happening right now. When was the last time you turned on ESPN looking for some major breaking football news? Weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, at least. Teams are doing their thing. Players are on vacation. Nobody's calling Mason Rudolph in the middle of his Cancun trip saying, hey, man, we just shipped you to the Lions. Sorry. Like, that's not happening. There might be some small negotiations happening here and there, but I would believe for the most part, this is a wait-and-see opportunity for the Steelers and one that they believe could work out. Truthfully, it might not. Mason could play himself into a role where teams want him, but they understand that the Steelers are going to get rid of him. A Baker Mayfield type situation where the Steelers are kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place saying, well, we would like to trade him, but we're not going to keep him as our 3rd guy because Chris Oladokun is our 3rd guy. If teams understand that, they see that, they're going to say, well, Mason's going to hit the open market eventually, and we'll take advantage of him there. Before that, we're good. He's not going to be worth less money or more money in free agency. He's going to be worth less money in free agency. They understand that. It's a wait-and-see opportunity for the Steelers. It's not going to happen now, but a 5th-round pick is believable. I think a 6th-round pick is more believable. I believe nothing is the most believable. But there's reasons why Mason hasn't left yet, and that's because they want to keep him right now. There's also reasons to believe that at some point he will be gone, and that is because it makes the most sense for the Steelers to try to get something from him. But he's got to showcase that talent to the NFL. He's got to show somebody in preseason, hey, look, I could still do some stuff, and remind teams who are looking for a quarterback, oh, Mason Rudolph, we should call about Mason Rudolph, just in case. The Steelers, unfortunately, also need some injuries to happen. for the best case scenario for them. Nobody ever wants to wish that upon anybody. But in the NFL, those things happen. And if the dominoes fall in the right place, the Steelers could be looking for pretty good compensation for Mason Rudolph. So we'll see what happens. Two things. Luxury picks, not a bad thing. Don't chalk up the future to right now. Don't say Kenny Pickett is a bust or a bad pick because he doesn't start in 2022. That's okay. Even if Mitchell Trubisky's good, that's okay. And Mason Rudolph, yeah, chances are he's gone by the time the regular season starts. But there's no need to get rid of him right now. There's no desire to get rid of him right now. And the Steelers aren't making phone calls. Why? Because they want 4 quarterbacks at training camp. Once the preseason rolls around and things start getting closer and closer to the regular season, that's when you move Mason Rudolph. And chances are it's going to happen.